Welcome to AvTims. We're going to talk about batteries. Pardon the kitten running around there. We always have kittens or dogs running around in the background. So today we're going to talk about LiPo batteries. I have two examples here. I have a 3-cell and a 4-cell. The first thing that you have to look at on the batteries is the number of cells. This one on the side, you can see here I've got 4 cells. This one here has 3 cells. So when you're buying batteries, you're going to look for either a 3S or a 4S, depending on what type of aircraft you're powering. The next number is the milliamps that you'll see on batteries. So this one here is a 1500 milliamp battery. Same for this one as well. The milliamps is the size of the battery. Oops, hold it upside down, 1500 milliamp there. So if you can get 1500, you can get 2200. There's lots of different levels. Let's see, these 4 cells that I was looking at are actually 2200 milliamps. So think of that as the size or how big of the battery, how much juice it can hold, like your gas tank. The next number that you want to look at on these batteries is the C rating. The C is how fast the battery can discharge. This one on our 4 cell, you'll see it says 5C. This one on our 3 cell is a 20 to 30 discharge rate. So that's something you want. The higher the number, the longer it'll last as far as the amount of times you can discharge it and how much you can take out of it quickly. So each cell is full of electricity, and you can measure the cells with one of these little cell checkers. So how you do that is you take the white end and you just put it in here. If you put it in the wrong way, it won't light up. If you put it in properly, it'll light up and it'll say display. Now, I'm not sure the video is gonna work too well on here, but it'll go through each cell. It'll look at all of them and say you've got 11.1. Each cell, number 1 is 3.7, 2 is 3.7, and so on. So as you add all of them up, that'll be the top. A full cell, a full charge, each cell will have the quantity of 4 in it. Anything down to 2 is empty. So you want to store these with about half full. Typically the best way to do this is to charge it up full, set a timer on your phone for 5 minutes, fly your airplane, come down and land, check it. If they're sitting at about 3.5, you're great to just store them and put them away. If you're flying and your battery actually dies, you take out your battery checker, check all of your cells. You might see them 3 or 2.5, put it on the charger, charge them up to halfway, 3.5, and you're good to store them. So now that we got a good fundamental on batteries, let's go ahead and take a look at how we charge these. So we have AvTims have the IMAX B6 charger. We'll have something like this or this as long as they're manufactured. The reason I like these is they're light, they're portable. You can take it out to the field and charge this off of your car battery. So it comes with a little alligator clips here. Just hook it up, battery, boom, boom, and it'll light up. So I happen to have an AC adapter here that I can use for demonstration purposes. So when we plug it in, we'll see that it lights up and we can go through some of the modes. Let's talk about how we connect the battery. On the side here, you have your pigtail connectors. You have a negative and a positive. You plug those in and it gives you a battery lead. So we like to use these here. I believe these are the XT60 connectors. You can have several different ones. Some of my older models, I use the old T-style connectors. So you gotta make sure you pick one and then just go with that. So you connect your battery and then you connect your balance lead. The balance lead is actually how you either check the battery with your little battery checker like we showed in the last video, or it's also how the charger monitors the battery. On the side here, you've got different balance lead for each cell. So you've got from 2 cell all the way up to 6 cells. Since this is a 3 cell, we're going into the 3 cell one. You can't get them wrong. They don't fit if it's not the right one. So we've got our battery connected and we're ready to charge here. Typically, when you start this up for the first time, you'll have your amps will say 5 and it'll be set up for a 6 cell. So how you choose this amount, this is how fast you're going to charge your battery. I always look at the second number that we talked about, the size or quantity of the battery, the milliamps. This is a 1500 milliamp battery. See, this one over here is a 2200 milliamp. What you do is just put a decimal right behind the first number. So if I was charging this one, I would set this number to be a 2.2. This one here is 1.5 milliamps, and the manufacturer here has actually already made it a little easier, so they actually put it right there for you. You never want to charge it faster than the amount of electricity it can hold. So if you were to put this on 5 amps and charge it, it just might overheat the battery. So always use that as a good setting. The next one you want to make sure, so right here it'll start, and this is how you change them, plus and minus. You hit the enter button to move it over to the volts. If this was a 4S battery, like this one here, you see 4S is a 14.8 volt. So that's how I would charge that type of battery. But let's go back, since this is a 3S that I have hooked up to it. You hit the enter button. Now, when you're ready to charge it, you press and hold this enter button. My power adapter here doesn't have enough electricity to actually charge it. It just gets started and then it fails and it shuts off. So, but I'll show you how it works. You press and hold it. It checks the battery to make sure that it's got the right battery, and then it would go ahead and start charging. Like I said, this one doesn't have enough amps in it, but it just powers up and it is good for demonstration purposes. So it'll charge, and then when it's done, it'll beep and say charge completed, and you're good to go. Another question we often get here is, how can I charge more batteries at one time? And the answer is, you can use what's called a balance board. So a balance board, basically you're taking, so it comes like this. Basically what you're doing with this board is you're connecting your batteries together to make them one big battery. So my suggestion, if you're going to use this type of charger, is you keep these separate. You line up your batteries that you want to charge. So I want to charge these 2 batteries, okay? I then check each one to see which one is more full or less full. So I display 3.7, 3.72, 3.69, 11.1. Okay, then I look at this one here, 3.74, 3.76, 3.71. So this battery has more electricity in it than this battery. So one quick note here that I do want to point out is, when you connect this battery to the balancing board this way, these are live, and if you were to touch them, you'd get a big spark. So one of the things you want to do is make sure you have these plugged in first, then plug your battery into the balancing board. You can plug the next one in. The balance board here, and it'll go through, it'll check the batteries, and of course I don't have enough volts here to actually, or amps to start the charging it off of this, but it would start charging and away you go. So that is how to charge more than one battery and to use the B6 charger. So today we talked about batteries and we talked about chargers. I wanted to just talk about a few last safety issues that we won't have with these LiPo batteries. LiPo batteries, we like to use them in the airplanes because they hold a lot of electricity and you can discharge them pretty quickly and they work really well. We can use them over and over again. They are subject to some things that we have to be concerned about. One, if I were to drop this on the floor right now, I would take it outside and I'd leave it on my front porch for a couple hours to make sure that it didn't start a fire. So these batteries are fragile. If you drop them and they have an impact, like on a tile floor or on asphalt, if you just, you drop it while you're trying to charge it, please put it in a safe place and monitor it and make sure it's not in what's called a thermal runaway. If you dent this or damage it, it could start to run away and get hot and have a chemical reaction and have a fire. So the other thing is, as they get older, they start to puff. Sometimes, like this one I happen to get from the factory, and it's actually already slightly puffy, but that's okay because I feel like it's almost a little bit of protection if I were to drop it. But if you start to overheat it while you're charging it too fast, or you discharge it too fast while you're flying, it will start to puff, get bigger and bigger. If your battery is over puffy, at that point, you want to make sure to dispose of it. So there's several videos online, different methods on how to dispose it. Some people say throw it in a bucket of salt water. All that's doing is shorting out the battery and it's draining the electricity. Some people take a battery or like a lamp and they'll connect it onto this and they'll just run it until it's 100% dead. The lamp goes out, and that's another way to do it. Some people take them out and put them on a gun range and just shoot them, and they blow up, and then they throw away the trash there. You can also take them to Home Depot or Lowe's. They have battery recycling boxes. You can drop them in there. So whatever you want to do, but just don't throw this in a trash can. When they put it in the truck and the truck compresses, it's going to overheat and it could light that truck on fire. So we don't want to have that situation happen. So if you are going to do the salt water method, I've seen some people poke it with a pin and do that. I've used the salt water method. I've thrown it in there, let it sit for 3 or 4 days, and go ahead and throw it in the trash, and it didn't cause a problem. So, but probably the best way is to go ahead and recycle them through a Home Depot or Lowe's. So thank you for watching our AvTims video. Our little kitten is running around entertaining you as well. So like us on Facebook, share with your friends. We're gonna be building one of these next. So this is our AvTims Cub, and hopefully we'll see you there.